about laying that patch for your mom?
I don't recall laying a patch.
I don't remember anything of that, like Chris mixing it up for you and you...
No, I really don't.
If I told you your DNA was in that patch, you know, when you're doing something like that, you sweat and it's so sensitive now. They're testing now, it's so sensitive. But if I told you that your DNA was in there, would that surprise you?
Yes.
It would?
Yes.
Okay. Well, looks like yours is in there. Because that's definitely all, obviously the crime lab's in there, they're right there, but yeah, they found all kinds of stuff in there. So, a lot of this stuff doesn't look good for you. If I told you that your DNA was in there, that surprise you?
Yes.
It would?
Yes.
Oh, looks like yours is in there.
You serious?
Mm-hmm.
This is 38-year-old Diane Ducharme. 17 years ago, Diane killed her stepfather, put him in this footlocker, and hid him for more than 90 miles away from his home, believing her crimes would disappear with him.
After nearly 17 years, authorities have issued charges in the of a mid-Michigan man.
But Diane wasn't alone in Roberto Carabello's murder. By the time detectives caught up with her, the real mastermind was hidden across the globe, living a new life in a new city, far from where anyone could reach them. One that had been pulling the strings for nearly 20 years all along.
I got rehearsed and plotted and planned into something like that. What charges am I being charged with?
Murder.
For nearly 17 years, police in rural Ottawa County, Michigan had a mystery on their hands. Who was Jack in the Box? Not a restaurant mascot, not a toy. A human being was given the nickname, all because someone decided to take his real name away. In May of 2002, a blueberry farmer discovered the remains of a man who had been set ablaze in a footlocker and thrown into the field, with the killers likely expecting the fire to erase any evidence they left behind. And for over a decade, it worked. Police had no idea who the man that had been killed, put in the box, and lit on fire was. That is until a filmmaker decided to produce a documentary aiming to identify Jack in the Box and give him back his real name. The filmmaker likely expected some people to contact police with tips regarding the man's identity. What he wasn't expecting was one of the killers herself writing in and setting into motion one of the most twisted cases our channel has ever covered. Because when an email came in from a young woman named Diane Ducharme, she not only identified the victim, but the alleged perpetrator. Diane claimed that the body in the box belonged to her former stepfather, 37-year-old Roberto Caraballo, and that he had been killed by her mother, Beverly McCallum, who at the time of her email, she was estranged with. Diane claimed that her mother had killed Roberto by shoving him down the stairs and beating him, while she and a close friend, Christopher McMillan, sat inside the home completely uninvolved. That is, until her mother supposedly forced both her and Chris to help dispose of the body. Police have questions for Diane, questions they've been waiting decades to ask, and questions she's been thinking up good lies for just as long. Police raced to Florida to speak with Diane, who was being held in custody for another crime, which obviously isn't a great look. Since entering adulthood, Diane's becoming a criminal connoisseur, racking up charges for evading law enforcement, drug possession, forgery, and driving under the influence. But the worst charge of all is yet to come, because unbeknownst to Diane, police have already tracked down and questioned Chris, and he's told them the actual truth.
So are you you're actually like going to question me? It's not like before where we're just communicating data back and forth.
Right, yeah, I'm going to ask you some questions. Technically, yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to ask you some questions, but I'm also going to tell you some stuff, so, because we're confused.
And if I'm not comfortable, I can just say...
You can stop it and tell me.
And you're going to get my attorney if I ask one. Okay.
Yes, I am. And then I'm going to walk out of the room, and then it's nothing personal, right? So, yeah, oh, here. This is Chris. That's Chris. It's not the best picture of him, but he still looks like the same. I found a picture of him from back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks almost still the same.
He's totally awesome dude, man.
But yeah, I found him finally, and his name was like you said, it was McMillan. Mm-hmm. But he's closer than I thought too. He's in Michigan. He's back in
Michigan.
Living in Michigan. And yeah, and when I talk to somebody, like, I wouldn't do it to you either. I don't like to sit there and, well, Chris said this and Chris said that. I don't like to say what the person said, but I'll tell you a few things because it kind of confused me. I think he'd been waiting for me kind of like for years, he'd been waiting for that knock on the door to come and somebody to ask him about this shit. And he after a few minutes of us talking, man, he just kind of unloaded everything on me. And I won't go into a lot of detail because that's what I'm talking. I don't want to tell you everything he said because I want to be fair to him. But I'll tell you a few things because it confused me. But yeah, he unloaded his whole story and confessed to being part of everything. And I could see after he did it, this like weight go off his shoulders. Seriously, it was like you can see that when you do my job, you can see that a lot of times when people, tell you the real story finally or come clean. It's like, they freaking, you almost see this thing come off them and then they're like, good, it's over. Now I'll move forward. But that's kind of like, I've never seen anybody happen more than it happened with him. Mm-hmm. And I felt bad for him because he seems like a good dude. Mm-hmm. And maybe got caught up in some stuff that wasn't his deal, but yeah, what he told me painted a pretty clear picture, and I've been looking into this case so long that I knew he was being honest with me because it matched everything that I already knew. So I think he was being pretty honest with me. Yeah, he told me some stuff quite a few things I didn't know too, but the basic part of it was he got it off his shoulders, and I don't know, he's got to deal with it now. So I was just glad I found him.
Good.
What?
I was just worried that, you wouldn't find him. The one thing like burned into my brain was the last time I seen you, you're like, well,
DNA? Was it the last time?
I think so, but no, the thing you said was, you better be thinking about what will prove that you didn't do it and your mom did or something like that, because that right there like burned in my brain, and I was like, oh my God, if you don't find Chris, like my mom is the type of evil that would totally manipulate it around the opposite way.
Well, that's what I'm confused about. That's my biggest thing I'm confused about is why you told me that Chris even existed.
Because me and him were on the couch in the little room off to the side, and that would be the only person that confirmed that I didn't plan, plot, or have anything to do with this. We were sitting in the room, and that was that. It all just came.
That's the problem.
Like, what's going on? Like, wait, what just happened? Well, what did you just say?
That's why I asked you that, because he doesn't, don't get me wrong, like he's kind of like you are, like, oh, Chris was a good guy, but he's like, same way about you, like, oh, I miss her and talk to her, and he like doesn't have like any hard feelings towards you, but I don't know how to explain, but he's not like has any kind of hard feelings towards you or your mom, but he's not happy about the situation he got put into. That's how to describe it.
Diane could not have mentioned Chris's name at all in her story, because at the time of this interrogation, the two hadn't spoken in 20 years, and on top of that, there was no connection whatsoever among Chris, Diane, and Beverly that the police could have traced. Chris was friends with Diane for a short blip of time. They didn't have cell phones tracking their every move. They didn't post photos of each other on Facebook. They hadn't said a single word to one another in 2 decades, and yet for some reason, Diane believes Chris will back up her version of events. Unfortunately for her, Chris isn't much for lying, because when police pull him in to corroborate Diane's story, he tells a completely different one, that Beverly and Diane pushed Roberto into the basement, where he was killed with a hammer. In the aftermath, Chris was forced to clean up the mess and hide the body, and as he explained to police, it wasn't a spur-of-the-moment attack on Roberto.
So you get there that evening, had you been there a while and something happened, or you showed up, or you knew something was gonna
It felt weird. Like I said, I didn't think they would do it.
How long had they been talking about it?
3 days, maybe.
And their reason for that was what they told you?
With the girls.
Okay. Beverly complained about abuse with herself?
Yeah, she was.
Sure.
No, I remember her crying. She was big. I scared her in spots.
Did Beverly or Deneen tell you what they were going to do, or because you said you didn't think that this was actually going to happen?
Right. I just didn't think they would.
However, as you'll soon discover, Chris believed the murder was justified, all because of another twisted lie, one of many in this evil mother-daughter duo case.
But that's not the story he told, was the one you said about the couch thing sitting on there. It was quite a bit different story about all three of you. Kind of being more planned out what was going to happen to Roberto. And that's why I'm like, why did she? And it wasn't like he's like trying to throw everything on you or your mom, or he wasn't like that. That's why I kind of respected him. You know, it was like he just shot me straight, and but I'm like, why the hell did you tell me that he even existed? Because he buried himself. He told me the truth. I think it was the truth.
Well,
based on what I
plot
knew.
or plan to do anything to anybody, and he would be the only one that can confirm that we were sitting there playing the guitar, eating pills, and smoking weed when everything was just like, bam, what happened? Wait, what?
That's what, like you mentioned about, like, you told me about cleaning up before, about your mom wanting to chip up the concrete and stuff.
She was just.
You know, and he said the same thing.
So much shit, to be honest with you. Like I keep telling you, like, I have spent years doing everything I possibly can to forget.
I believe that.
And not just that, with my injury, it's even more cloudy. Shit is like more scattered and cloudy than what it was prior to my accident. So from what I know in my heart, and I know that that wasn't something that I ever intended or plotted or planned or whatever. Like, that was never, I would not benefit a damn thing from doing that. And I honestly don't intend to hurt or harm or seek out pain to anybody. I really don't. I just do what I can to survive.
I believe that.
I've got some hang-ups, but I'm not a crazy, insane person that's going around vindictively
Same thing with
doing crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I've got some issues, mainly because of that. I like to say that incident kind of forced me to do things that wasn't naturally into my pattern. I was really big into school and, things like that before all that shit happened. And
I think it's the same thing with him, because you look at this guy and I'm like, I wouldn't think he'd hurt a flea. I really wouldn't.
I really don't even kill bugs. You know what I'm saying? It's a real situation. And from what I can remember, I told you as straight as I could remember, as much as I could remember.
Okay.
Straight to you from day one, and for me not to tell you about Chris would just be, why even go there? You know what I mean?
That's what I'm
so all I could do is tell you that there is another person, because y'all were kind of adamant that there wasn't, that it was just me and my mother. And I was like, no, there was. When you came and visited me, I think I had a picture or something with him in like the corner of one of my pageant pictures. And I showed it to you. It was like, it just had like a side of his face, a corner of his face.
Yeah, that wasn't him. No, that was somebody else. But yeah, I remember that. But no, I mean, most of what you told me was
like,
true.
All I could do is, just be as honest as what I could remember, all that I could tell you, all that I could remember, and just give you as much truth and facts that I had. So that is why I told you about Chris.
Well, that's the thing, yeah, because you were, that's why I wanted to ask you about it, because I want to be fair to you, because you told me a lot of truths about that he existed, about his name, I mean, his first name and his last name started with a Mick, you thought?
Yeah.
And he played the guitar, all which is true.
In Chris's interrogation, he revealed that for weeks on end back in 2002, Diane, whom he was romantically interested in, told him that she and her siblings were being taken advantage of by her stepfather, Roberto. And if you enjoy killers like this, realize they're not winning an Oscar, subscribe and check out our Spotify, where we upload podcasts every week.
Well, she went on, and the being a dude was always and drunk. So
That was her story?
yeah, they wanted him gone or whatever, and it's pretty much what they did.
Who told you that?
Beverly and Deneen.
Chris claimed that Diane told him the only way to stop themselves and others from being hurt was to put an end to him, once and for all.
Well, the days before that, what did they say was going to happen that you didn't think was going to happen?
I wasn't around a lot.
Basically, Chris,
Like that.
are they talking about they're going to teach him a lesson and beat him up, or are they going to do something else?
I'm sure whatever conversations them two had in between themselves is a lot different than the conversations when I was around or
when you were
when I was around one of them.
when you were sitting
they already
down there
knew.
going over the plan, though, the plan wasn't to scare him and say boo. The plan wasn't to hit him a couple times and teach him a lesson. The plan was what?
Maybe that's what the rope was for. Maybe they were going to tie him up.
But you had just said that you had some you weren't part of all of the conversations,
Right.
but you're part of some. What were those conversations?
Like sitting around the table, after the kids are in bed and just conversating over cards. It's almost like they were planting seeds.
But tell me what you mean by that.
They didn't let me in on everything, that's for sure.
What did they let you in on?
I mean, evidently, were they? Were they or weren't they?
That's first we've heard of that. So.
They played that on me like a. And looking back,
There's some even stronger name-calling he may consider, because as of the publishing of this video, there is no evidence whatsoever that Roberto was abusive in any way whatsoever. His wife, however, Diane's mother, had left a trail of destruction everywhere she went.
And I'm like, then I talked to Chris, I'm like, why did you tell me that stuff? What am I missing? I wanted to give you a chance to
Yeah, really.
And
I
if
never
you're missing
would have
something or I'm
plotted
missing
or
something.
planned to do anything, especially to Roberto. I mean,
Well, I know
as crazy as it sounds, as my family has been, there's nothing and no reason as a child who has seeked out her father why I would want to take a father from one of my siblings. I have suffered so much in my life not to have a father, or my biological father. So it's just against everything.
Just like we said though, you're not the type of person that's gonna go out. I gotta worry about killing somebody every weekend for your kicks.
It's
but
just
welcome to my job, because 95% of the people I
you
deal
come in
with
contact too. Yeah,
are people that normally wouldn't do something they did, but because of circumstances or because of a lifestyle they're having right then, or just a situation they get thrown into. No, I'm serious. That's what happens to 95% of people.
Yeah. Well, my mother is not that breed. My mother,
your mom is not that person.
Okay.
You're right.
Yeah, my mom is
Your
not
mom-
that breed. My
your
mom
mom
would
is
do
not.
anything and everything and to anyone, no matter what it takes. And that is something I had to cope with, and maintain sanity behind my entire life. And even not being in this country, she finds ways just for me, and she'll send out my sister after me, or, that's why we came here. It was like, it was nonstop. We couldn't get away from it. Then Tasha becomes vindictive. Oh, then she wants to set my car on fire, flatten all the fires. It's just a nonstop bullshit, all constant shit. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, you should try talking to your mother sometimes. And I was like, I have nothing to say to our mother. There's nothing I want to say to our mother. Why would I talk to her?
Right.
Cicely, same thing. Why don't you talk to mom? I was like, I don't want to talk to mom, Cicely. The only time you or Tasha should ever contact me is if you're contacting me to let me know my mother is dead. Other than that, I have nothing to say to y'all anymore. Nothing.
You don't talk to your mom. When's the last time you talked to your mom? Right after we were there?
Right after my grandmother passed, inside the mosque thing.
So you haven't talked to her since we first met?
Mm-mm. When I spit in her face at the mosque, that was the last time I talked to her. When she buried my grandmother that was Catholic nun in a Muslim cemetery next to Ahmed Abdul. You got a Mary Cross Maglicetti. Her middle name is Cross.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. You're not the only member of your family that feels that way.
She is supposed to be in the Hudson River with my grandfather. It was in her will since 1985.
The person working on Beverly's will must have been buying white out by the gallon, because she hadn't just married one man who died under mysterious circumstances, she married several. Prior to marrying Roberto, Beverly was married to 2 men who died at young ages of what the coroner claimed was natural causes. Then along came Roberto, who was discovered dead and set ablaze in a suitcase. At the time of this interrogation, Beverly had actually fled overseas and was living in Lahore, Pakistan, with her newest fling of the week.
But yeah, the story he told was more of a plotted out thing that you and your mom approached him with. Do you remember any reason though why
I never approached him with that? Never, not ever.
And I don't want to spoon feed you everything, but do you remember any reason you ever told him why maybe you or your mom, not counting that he didn't like your lifestyle, another reason why you guys would want Roberto there?
I never said anything like that. I have no clue. I never approached him like that, ever. Not ever. Now, my mother,
maybe your
I don't know if my mom
did.
I have no clue if my mom did. If she did, what she would even say, to be honest with you. Now, I know I didn't.
You never said anything about it?
I would never do something like that. No, sir.
So if he... Because I'll tell you right now, that's what he said. He was approached and
By me.
by both of you.
Yeah, no.
That it was because of something Roberto was doing to the girls.
That's
what he was told.
Roberto ain't never did nothing but love them girls. The most I've ever seen him ever do was pinch Cicely. And he would pinch her like right here for doing something wrong. So that's bullshit. Roberto never did anything to the girls.
I'm being kind of... I mean, you know what I'm talking about then, what he's told me. I mean, he said that he was told that Roberto's... So that wouldn't be true. And he doesn't even believe it now. He doesn't believe it now.
I never, ever seen Roberto, even in the 9 years that we visited him in prison, in the 8 years that he lived with us prior to him going to prison, on any visitation, the years that before Tasha and Cicely were born, that I had with Robert, he never did that to me when I was a youth. He was not that kind with Cicely or Tasha, so why would I say that?
He didn't give that vibe.
He was not like that. Robert is not that kind of guy, and there has to be something that Chris is confused with or something, because, or my mother approached him about it. But I definitely, and I would say till the day I died, that Robert wouldn't run. And if he had, the first thing I would do is go straight to the frickin' police. Take the children to the hospital, make a record, and go to the police. Are you crazy?
And that's why, because...
They're going to need help if they're father that we can't help with. So, no.
And I'm saying there's never a good
that's
reason.
Bullshit if that's what my mom did. That's bullshit. That's complete hypocrisy. It's bullshit, period. The man is not like that.
I'm not going to argue with you on that.
The man is not like that.
You don't do something like that, but... also, though, I mean,
it really upsets me.
Not that there's ever a good reason, but if you're going to try to get somebody to help you do something like that, I guess that would maybe be the best thing you could say to motivate most men, you know, that aren't, because, you know, they're hated. I mean, they're just the worst of the worst. But so I thought of it that way, but then I thought, you know, obviously there's no good reason to help someone murder somebody. But then I thought, well, all the times I talked to Deneen, she never mentioned that once.
He didn't help.
And that would be like a reason she could tell me, you know,
Chris said he helped murder him?
Yeah.
Well, we did?
I'm like, I can't spoon feed you everything you said, but yes. Yeah. What?
No, that's not how that happened. I mean, we're sitting on the couch in that room, and she came in there just yelling.
What? I mean, we were talking about the patch thing, the concrete patch.
I don't know anything about a concrete patch.
What's that?
I don't recall anything about a concrete
Well,
patch.
you had told me about a patch where, because your mom was trying to clean up so good that she was chipping up concrete in the basement.
I just don't remember.
But no, I mean, that was something you told me the first time we met. I think the first time we went down to Texas, you told me about that, and then I went back to the house, and sure enough, there's a concrete patch. But that, Chris told me the same thing, but he said you laid the patch because you're really good at this stuff, and somebody else actually told me you're really good at like brickwork or mason.
Just tile before.
But I'm just telling you what I heard. I heard you're talented at that stuff. But he said that you did that patch in the basement. That was your work. He mixed it up for you, and you laid the patch.
I don't remember shit. I don't remember that.
Okay.
I don't even remember anything about a concrete patch, and I'm sorry.
Do you remember much of what you told me the first time we met?
I don't remember even talking to you about a concrete patch. I'm sorry. It's probably part of my injury. Because I had
which injury? The one with your leg?
brain injury, yeah. But I mean,
you remember us talking though.
I do remember you talking.
Because you remember things being hectic at your house.
There's things that it's like even like words, stuff. It's kind of like your mind. How you put things in order in your mind. The way, okay, so these are organized like in your brain. You kind of like when you think you can find it, you go back to a vision or image and you pull it up like that. Well, it's like it's there, but it's not in the right spot. Like you're like, I know this, but I don't know how to explain it, but it's not there.
A concrete pad was laid down in the basement where Roberto took his final breaths, just days after he was murdered, in an attempt to cover up any blood or DNA evidence. Unfortunately for Diane and Beverly, concrete doesn't destroy DNA evidence. It just contains it. And when police began to investigate, they uncovered DNA belonging to Beverly and Diane, proving that they, along with Chris, had set the concrete all those years ago.
But no, that's what I was talking about, is that concrete patch there.
I honestly don't recall shit about it.
Because he had a pretty good memory about that stuff. He remembered actually a lot of really good things.
I don't remember talking to you about it. That's the weird thing. You're saying I told you about it, but I honestly don't recall.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just saying he had a good memory about everything. About a lot of detail, and that's like I was telling you that time. The more detail you can give me, something I can go and back up, where I believe you over if your mom put handcuffs on her.
And that's what I told you, like the only one that could possibly add any more detail would be Chris, and I would think that he would do it in my favor, but
he didn't.
I didn't.
He didn't do it in your favor. And like I said, it wasn't like a way of like he was trying to put everything on you or everything on your mind. It was just like he told the story and the cards fell where they fell. And a lot of it wasn't favorable for you. And I'm sitting there going, why did she give me Chris's name? I mean, because that kind of really ended up hurting you.
Well, I mean, I'm just being honest with you. I mean,
okay. I'm being honest with you.
I've just always been that way. I mean, that was all I could do. I gave you everything I could remember and all that I could in every way that I could. Mm-hmm. And Chris was the only other thing that I could remember that maybe could possibly help you. I mean,
it's someday you'll see the reports and stuff, I'm sure, because there's a lot of them that it did. That Chris isn't the only person that remembers stuff, and that when he tells a story and it matches other people that he hasn't seen in years, and it matches their story, the stuff they remember, then you got to give it some credibility, right? So,
well, I mean, I'm not by no means saying that, hey, I have a perfect freaking memory, but I'm definitely not a plotted murderer either.
Okay. That's what is there another reason why this stuff would have went down besides like what I mentioned? Like with your mom, she kind of wanted to go back into she didn't like the life she was leading. It sounded like she wanted to go back into the drug
Who did?
Your mom, because she didn't have a lot of money. Robert's work at delivering papers and stuff like that, and always fighting with him, and it's like she was too happy. It was time to move on, but I don't know.
The only thing, and I used to tell my mother, was that it was like she resented Robert for all the years she went to visit him in prison, and that was like she resented him for it. I don't.
So
I don't really know. I don't know. Like
you don't remember being down in the basement during the murder?
Hell no. Why would I call you and tell you?
People call me and tell me way worse stuff than that. I don't know why. I don't know why they do, but you don't remember being down there when it happened. You don't remember maybe doing like a rehearsal the night before?
Oh, what?
Like a rehearsal?
No.
Like your mom directing something? Like,
no.
You should stand here. Chris, you should be there. No. This is what I'll do.
No.
What?
No.
What, if your memory's kind of foggy, though, it might have happened.
There's no way I would even do that.
Why?
There's no way. Because it's not in my character. I would never do that.
I'm not saying it was your idea. That's not what I'm saying.
I would never even practice play, rehearsal, joke, about it. That's not my personality. No way in hell. Never.
So if your mom wanted to do
never, I would leave.
You would leave.
I would leave. I would leave out into the street. I would call somebody, another family member or something. I would leave before I got rehearsed and plotted and planned into something like that. There's no way.
You wouldn't go with your mom on that.
There is no way. No way.
And do you remember anything about like your guys' long drive over to get rid of Roberto's body?
I've told y'all everything I remember.
And I'm just trying to jar your memory loose because I did, that's what I do with some people. I'm like, remember, I don't like spoon feeding people or giving them info. But
everything I can remember, I have honestly told you. You guys have asked me, and I've told you.
And that's what we do. We'll ask the same questions over and over again, hoping that something jars, something loose, and it does a lot. And that's why I do that. But you remember, like, your mom bringing anything on that long trip, like cleanup supplies or anything like that?
No.
No? Gloves?
I can't remember.
Okay. I'm asking you to remember, but I know you don't want to remember.
I really can't.
Because it sucks. I can tell Chris didn't want to remember too, because it sucks. It really does.
I really can't.
You remember, what do you remember of the night there in the basement? What do you remember of that?
I remember coming down the stairs. I remember screaming at my mom.
What are you screaming at her about?
I don't even remember. I just remember yelling at her and asking her if she was crazy. Screaming like, crazy, what is wrong with you? And just keep screaming at her, and just kept screaming at her.
Diane would like to pretend she wasn't involved in the murder and that she was disturbed, but the reality is, she wasn't screaming at her mom to stop. She was screaming at her to hit harder and to hand the weapon over to her.
I'm
as far as you know, your mom held on to that till she took it.
I'm really sorry. I can't remember, and I really want to.
I know you don't want to.
No, I do. I want to. It's just not there. The data's not there.
Because, like, I told you before, it's like, that's what I have to do is when somebody tells their story, I usually by the time I talk to them, I know, even if I play dumb, I'm not quite as dumb as I act, but I know the answers to a lot of the questions I ask, and the questions
I definitely did. I mean, I'm that. I guess you think that or that you believe that I plotted, planned, rehearsed, and all this stuff.
Well,
There's really
and that's another reason is people got reasons for everything, and there's reasons for everything. So, and I know that. I don't.
that is not something that I would do.
Well,
It's just.
it looks like you were part of this, though, Janine, and that's why I'm. Okay, you're part of this, then you're part of this, but why? That was the other big question. It was like, was it just because your mom's an influence, or because Roberto didn't like your lifestyle? I mean, I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
Roberto might not have liked my lifestyle, but he definitely didn't even say anything. He just would not talk to Jamie or something like that. If Jamie came over, something like that, he wouldn't talk to Jamie. He'd still say hi to Deneen, give me a kiss and a hug. He just wouldn't address Jamie. Or he like silently silently objected. It wasn't like he was very verbal about it or
I don't know. That's why I'm asking. And it's like, I don't know if
that wasn't his nature.
I don't know if your mom said something like, hey, if you help me, I've got an insurance claim on him. I'll give you this much money.
I wouldn't know if she did or didn't have
I know. I'm just throwing stuff out there because I don't know. I wasn't there.
It's news to me. I don't know.
Okay. So she never said anything about anything like that, sharing.
Not that I know.
Sharing some
Not
money.
that I remember. I mean, she didn't give me shit. I don't know.
Nothing.
She didn't give me shit. What are you talking about? Never. Not ever.
Just looking at that concrete patch there, do you remember any of that now? About weighing that patch for your mom?
I don't recall laying a patch.
I don't remember anything of that, like Chris mixing it up for you and you.
No, I really don't.
If I told you your DNA was in that patch, when you're doing something like that, you sweat and it's so sensitive now. They're testing now, it's so sensitive. But if I told you that your DNA was in there, would that surprise you?
Yes.
It would?
Yes.
Okay. Well, looks like yours is in there. Because that's definitely all, obviously the crime lab's in there, they're right there, but yeah, they found all kinds of stuff in there. So.
Yeah.
Basically what they found supports Chris's story that he told. And other people I interviewed supports Chris's story that he told. Okay, it doesn't support what you were telling me.
I've told you everything I can remember. As much as I can remember.
That's it. So I'm trying to give you the last chance here, Deneen. I really am. Because I'm telling you that, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that points a little different direction. I mean, I think some of the stuff you told me was true, and I think some of the stuff, I mean, I told you, people do stuff they normally wouldn't do. It happens. Or people go through phases, and it happens. I'm not the same person I was when I was 16, or sure so I wouldn't be a cop, I'll tell you that. I mean, I was no angel. But that's not me now either. It's like I think back and go, what the hell did I do that for? Thank God I didn't get caught, doing this or doing that when I was younger. God, I've never been a cop, or I would have, it's just, I think it's stuff I did that's out of character. That's not me. But I'm wondering if that's the case here. If you didn't tell me something, you want to clear up, because when I told you that thing about telling your story and making sure anything you could say where I could go back up your story and confirm it would help. And I told the same thing to Chris.
I gave everything that I could.
And I did confirm some stuff, like you really remember, and you told me about the basement. I think about you did tell me about the chipping up of the basement stuff. And as soon as I got home, I went to the house.
I couldn't remember. I mean, I can't remember more than what I've given you. And if that's what I've told you, that's what I told you, then, and it's helped you, then I'm glad. Because I told you then, because now I can't remember. And my accident was that traumatic. And I do suffer from that. but I've given and said all that I wish I could say more, or I wish I could remember more. For God honest, I can't.
Nothing else. I don't even care if I don't want you sitting there going, did I tell him this or didn't I tell him that? I can't remember. I just want to hear the truth. You're at that point where I don't care if you told me or you didn't. I just want to hear the truth. Because that's
I've given you.
What's going to help you here.
I've said everything that I can remember.
Okay, because you know where Chris is at right now.
I can remember.
You know where Chris is at now.
No, I don't. Well, you said he's in Michigan.
Yeah, he was there. He's been there for quite a while, but no, it's. I mean, like, this is where Chris is at now. He's under arrest. So, and that's a really good photo of him. He looks a little better than that, but he's having a bad day right there. Because I go do something I didn't want to do, but when the guy lays it all out, says he's part of something, that ain't wrong. Good thing is, though, people look at that down the road and it'll probably help them. So, but. And, you know, I know who I really want to meet is your mom.
I didn't plot or plan any of this. I couldn't tell you if that's something that my mother did and maybe Chris has confused. But that is definitely not something.
Why would he say, though, you were part of that, too? I mean, because he doesn't seem like he has any ill will against you.
No, I don't know if maybe it's something that's been confused in some way. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's probably fought some of the same battles I have. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he's gone down, using drugs and things kind of as a crutch or a self-medicated type thing or any type of, anything like that, but...
What story do you think your mom's going to tell me when I finally grab her?
I have no clue.
Because that day's coming. She doesn't think it is, but it is.
There's no telling. I would be prepared for anything. And the thing you're not going to think it is going to be what she's going to tell you.
She's going to tell me the truth?
No, never.
Because that's the thing I don't think it will happen. So.
I don't think in a gazillion years would she tell you the truth. I don't know, unless changing to a Muslim has converted her mind in some form or way.
You think that's true? Because
I honestly don't know. There's no telling what that one might tell you. I mean, she might tell you that me and Chris just did it and paid her off. I don't know.
She might tell me what?
That me and Chris did it and paid her off. She could tell you anything. That we plotted and planned it.
Diane is right about something at last. Her mom did indeed throw her under the bus. Once she was extradited to the U.S. for murder, she told police officers that Roberto had wanted to throw Diane and Chris out of the house for their drug use, and that in response, they killed him in the basement, making Beverly an innocent witness. Really, the only innocent people in this case are the two underage children who were inside the home at the time. Not only were they exposed to violence, but they were told that their father, Roberto, had gone to Canada, abandoning them. They lived the majority of their lives believing their father was out there somewhere, wanting nothing to do with them.
Because I've got a warrant for your mom's arrest, for felony murder.
Is that going to be something that you could get her in Pakistan for, or you got to wait till she comes back to America?
No, I'm not going to wait.
You're going to go get her?
I'm going to try. So, being worked out now, and this is all recent, so.
Be ready for anything. If she's a spawn of Satan, man.
I will. I'm going to do it right now. In fact, I'll give it to you. I don't know what their rules are at the jail. I'm just going to give you my card again.
Okay.
And just, if you got to get a hold of me, or an attorney has to get a hold of me, here's my card.
I can get an attorney. I can have an attorney contact you.
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care.
Thank you.
Or if you just remember something, if I leave and tomorrow you remember something, and they'll let you, actually better let you use the jail if you want to call it a detective. Call me and say, hey, I just remembered this. If I don't answer, just leave me a voicemail.
Okay.
Okay, and get in touch with you somehow, but
I think they're extraditing me to Texas in the next 10 or 15 days.
are you fighting extradition?
Am I supposed to fight extradition?
I don't know, but I don't think so. I don't think you're supposed to, but I'm not going to sit here and give you legal advice because I'm not supposed to do that. But
I don't know. My husband's here.
is your husband? Have you seen your husband? Does he come up and see you a lot?
No, he lost his ID, so he can't visit.
I mean, so you don't know if he's working on something for you or what?
No, the last time we communicated was when I was going to jail. That was the 27th, and he said he was going back to Texas, so don't leave Texas. He'll be there, so I don't know if he's planning on packing up everything going to Texas. He hates it here, but I liked it because it was away from all this, the bullshit of my family.
I like Texas.
I love Texas.
I'll probably move to
I probably
Texas one day.
will move back to Texas, but not to the Houston area where I have my 2 other siblings. Wow.
Yeah, it doesn't get more serious than that. So at some point, yeah, you're gonna have to be shipped up there. Nothing's over till it's over. Okay.
Pray that the truth comes out and my mom finally gets what she deserves. I mean, Chris, don't
Right.
suffer this.
Well, pray that pray that I'm able to get her, and you'll know when I do.
After 20 long years, the murder of Roberto Caraballo has officially been solved, and the people involved have been brought to justice. Diane was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole for first-degree murder. Though her mother, Beverly, fled from country to country and husband to husband, she couldn't escape. She was successfully extradited back to the US and was sentenced to 55 years in prison for second-degree homicide. And then there's the snitch himself, Chris. On the stand, Chris repeatedly apologized for his actions and took full responsibility. As a result, he was sentenced to just 15 years behind bars after pleading guilty to second-degree murder. Our thoughts are with the family of Roberto Caraballo. Thank you for tuning in. Besides subscribing to help us make more videos exactly like this one, you can also listen to all of our crime podcasts over on Spotify. And before you go, check out one of the craziest cases I've ever covered right here, or one of my newest uploads right here.